We are live, Julie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. It's where we blend spirituality and practicality to help you live a life of purpose and joy. We got a whole bunch of people waiting to have a conversation with me. If you want to just come in to askjulieryanshow.com, and Chris is going to be handling the main switchboard tonight. So he'll be putting people through. And then if you're joining us on the live stream on YouTube, we're at Ask Julie Ryan, and we have our Samantha over there that's going to be helping people. If you want to ask a question on the live stream, just put your first name, where you're located, and your question in the chat, and we'll be answering questions from there too. You want to stay with us for the whole show because I'm giving away a free session with me valued at $750 to a lucky winner. So it's always fun. I'll hear notes. I'll get an email, or when I get to talk to the person, I'll hear that they'll say, "Well, I was driving to work and I heard my name called and it was so exciting." So hopefully it'll be your name called tonight. So you wanna listen in for that. So, always a delight to be with you, and always fun to see who's going to be joining us and what their questions are and what Spirit has to say. So, Chris, who do we have first? Let's see who our first questioner is. Hi, Cheryl. I can't really hear you well. Say something again. Yeah, I'm not able to understand you. I'm sorry. Can you get your mic a little closer? See see if that'll help. Now I can't hear you at all. Okay. Now try say something. No, I can't. So maybe work on that and we'll see if we can come back to you. Chris, let's go to our next person. She was having some technical difficulties there. So we need to be able to hear the question. You want to have a conversation with me, come in at askjulieryanshow.com. If you're joining us on the YouTube live stream, come in at Ask Julie Ryan and you can put your question in the chat with your first name and where you're located. So let's see who's next. All right, this is from YouTube. Hi, Julie. I'm Ken from New Jersey. I have your book, Angelic Attendants, and I like it. It's very interesting. I have sleep apnea. It's causing me to have breathing problems. Can you help me? Absolutely, Ken from New Jersey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect into you, and then we will see what's going on with your sleep apnea. How this works for those of you that are first time callers is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, turn it on and off and on, turn it on and off in a nanosecond. I'm going to close my eyes for a second. I'll watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook into Ken up in Jersey. And then I'm going to have a hologram of him in my mind's eye. And it'll be as if I'm looking at an X ray or a CT scan or an MRI. I'll shoot energy into him and something will be identified, and then there'll be a healing. Now, I'm going to describe the healing in detail, Ken. So I want you to picture what I'm describing because it's going to help integrate the healing into your body. Everybody that's listening or watching, please imagine, use your imagination to envision what I'm describing too. And then all of us are sending a healing to Ken. It's kind of like the power of prayer when we all think of the same thing, magical things, miraculous things can happen. Also, remember, since time doesn't exist in the spirit world, it doesn't matter whether you're listening to this real time or you're listening to it 5 years from now. The energy still goes to Ken. Lastly, Ken, the healing will happen on the energetic level. It'll integrate into your body, and that can be noticeable instantly. It can take days, weeks, months, may need some kind of complementary care, like change in diet, physical therapy, surgery, whatever, but I'll get that information too. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to Kenton, New Jersey. All right, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. Okay, I'm in your windpipe, basically. Your I'm blanking on it. It's not the esophagus. It's the whatever trachea. It's there, and what I'm watching is it looks like you've got some scar tissue in there. So, imagine there's a corkscrew that's spinning inside of there, Ken, and it's just creating some space. Like scar tissue looks like, mm, kind of spider web material, but thicker. So that corkscrew is just cutting all of that out. Also looks to me like you have a tummy on you. So oftentimes when we lose weight, that will help with the sleep apnea. If you're on a CPAP, that's great. If you're not, you probably wanna get tested for one. And if you're not on a CPAP, what I've read a lot is that if you tape your mouth shut, which feels like it's kinda counterintuitive to do that if you're having trouble breathing, but if you tape your mouth shut, what's gonna happen is it's gonna force you to breathe through your nose, and you'll get more oxygen. There's a product called Somnifix that I know is terrific. It's a hypoallergenic tape. You put it on your lips, and it keeps your mouth closed for the duration of your sleeping. But if you haven't been tested, I would go to a sleep apnea clinic and be sure that you can get on a CPAP. In the meantime, weight is a big issue. Chris, we got some background noise, so if you could mute them, that would be terrific, please. Uh, the weight loss will help a lot, and we've cleared out the scar tissue in your trachea, so I hope that that works better. Thanks so much for your question. Hope you sleep better. Alrighty, let's see who's next. AskJulieRyanShow.com, and we're at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. So let's see who we've got next. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Julie.
How are you, my girl?
Very excited to be here.
Terrific. Where are you?
I'm in Richmond, BC.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Richmond, BC, in Canada.
Richmond in Canada. Okay, terrific. Well, how may I help you this evening?
Yeah, so I have a daughter. Her name is Sophie, and she is
Yeah.
G-tube fed. And
Oh,
last year she actually was starting to eat, and suddenly she's like, I'm not gonna eat anymore. She won't eat anymore. So just wondering if there is something that, did she feel anything while she was eating before, while she stopped? I don't know anything right now. She would just like try and taste, but like no. Or sometimes if it goes to her, she would spit it out. So she's about 3 years old. So
okay.
just
That was what I
wondering
was
how
gonna
we can
ask
help
you.
to, yeah, how we can help to get her to start eating again.
A
She's
G-tube
also
for
not
those.
like talking, so that's why it's hard to tell if if her tummy is hurting or anything. So
Okay, so a G-tube, for those of you that don't know, is a tube that goes into the stomach, and there's a liquid that goes in there to feed someone. An NG tube is a nasal gastro tube and gastric tube, and that goes in through the nose and down into the stomach. That way, why was Sophie ever on a G-tube to begin with?
okay, just a lot of like issues. So first I think you actually talked to my mom about it, but she had like cleft palate, so she wasn't
Okay.
able to feed. She was also like in the NICU for breathing problems. She was nasal tube fed before, but because she had the peer Rubin sequence, all of that stuff, we opted to put the G tube in because she couldn't breathe and she has like that tube. So we started with the G tube for her. So now that's where we're at. She also has hearing problem as well. But she has hard of hearing, so all sorts of stuff. So we can't tell, or she can't tell us as of yet. She's not talking yet.
Mhm.
If she's like why she stopped eating. Because before she would see a bowl of like food and oh, she's gonna start sitting down and eat, and suddenly she's like nope one day. So we're just trying to figure out how to make her eat again.
So you're trying to wean her off the G tube is what I'm
Yeah.
hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and she's been on it since she was how old?
I think a month old.
Oh, goodness. So that's all
Yeah.
she really knows. So she's
Yeah.
just learning to eat regular food. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, Amy, is we'll connect into you, and then I'm gonna connect from you to Sophia, and we'll have a little chat with the princess, Sophia, and see
Mhm.
what she has to say for herself.
Yeah.
So here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you in Canada. All right, have you go into Sophie. Sophie, I'm talking to your mommy. She says, I know. How cute is she? I know. It's like, "You can pull one over on me. Why is it that you don't wanna eat? Because it's easier through the tube," she's saying.
Mm.
"Does your tummy hurt when you eat food?" She says that she finds it exhausting to chew. She says it wears her out. She thinks it's hard to chew. She's saying if you feed her softer food that she doesn't have to chew, that it may be easier. So, that makes sense to me. Are you, like, trying to feed her a steak, or what are you trying to feed
Not
her?
really. Sometimes banana, sometimes like apple juice. I've started, with like applesauce to try and like get her back to eating. Because she
Mhm.
loved that before, but right now she's like, she'll and then no. So I'm like, what do you want to eat?
Yeah,
Start
yeah.
eating.
She's saying soft food. She'd like the soft food first. I think it's just gonna take time for her to get used to it. She's saying that she just doesn't like to chew because and what I'm hearing from spirit on that, Amy, is she's just not used to it. It's like, "Well, this is a lot of effort. Why do I wanna do that? If I just get my food through my tube, then I don't have to mess with it." So it's a
Mhm.
matter of retraining. Is there an occupational therapist for pediatrics that with whom you
Yes,
can
yes.
work?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is working with her, but we stopped working on like feeding because again, she was not eating and we don't know how to make her eat for the occupational therapist too. But it's true that she's lazy to chew because what she would do is anything if she ate before like a biscuit, she would let it melt in her mouth. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, chew.
It's a
But she just
it's a
lets it
learn
melt.
it's a learned skill. We don't think about it, but really babies do that over an extended period of time. You know, you feed them the soft food when you're introducing it, and then you're introducing stuff once they start getting some teeth that they chew. So I think it's what I'm hearing from Spirit Amy is it's somewhat unreasonable to think that she's gonna wanna start chewing because if you had started feeding her soft food as a toddler, she would have had time to get used to it. So treat her like she's a toddler, introduce the soft food, then eventually introduce stuff that's gonna take some chewing, and she'll be fine. She'll be fine. So, I
Thank you,
hope that
Julie.
helps. Yeah,
Yes,
thanks
thank
for
you,
calling in.
Julie.
Give your mama my love. I do remember talking to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Bye. AskJulieRyanShow.com if you wanna have a conversation with me, and we're on the YouTube live stream at Ask Julie Ryan. Remember, we do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, and it's always fun to see who's gonna be joining us. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to shows or watch shows, and if you're coming in on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube and put that little bell thing so you get a notice when, we post a new show. We release a bunch of them. We release about 4 a week, 3 are interviews, and then, of course, this one that's the call-in show, which is so much fun. So, yeah, join us. Alrighty, let's see who's next. Hi, Eileen.
Hello, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, my dear?
Well, thank you.
Terrific. Where are you?
I am right outside of New Orleans, so we're getting ready for the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
yeah,
Yep,
you
in
sure are.
Mandeville. Yep.
Wonderful. I know Mandeville. I've been
Oh,
to New
you
Orleans
do?
a bazillion times. Yeah, I love it.
I
I
used
had
to
my
live in Birmingham, so I
Oh,
know
you
Birmingham
did?
too.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had my 40th birthday party in New Orleans, and 9 of my best girlfriends that was a few years ago, like 25, but 9 of my best girlfriends flew in from all over the country, and it was before 9/11, so one would fly in, and then we'd go get the next one and the next one, so we had this group, and we just go meet the planes. They were coming in from East Coast, West Coast, North and South. It was just a ball, and we spent the
Oh,
weekend there,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
and none of us got arrested. It was really a good thing. So,
Well done.
anyway yeah, exactly. Well, Eileen, how may I help you?
Um, so I would like to request a healing for my mom. She's got
Okay,
Alzheimer's,
okay.
and it's in the stages where she's still aware, but she's getting to the point of agitation and anger, and it's challenging for everybody,
Mhm.
to care for her. But I feel so bad for her because you just are aware enough to know that something is very wrong. And I don't think she understands when she starts getting verbally abusive and, acting out and things like that. So any healing that you could do to bring her some peace, um, that would be great. And I would accept any healing as well. It's been
Yeah.
a journey.
I bet. Is she with you in your home, Eileen, or is she in a
She is
facility or
not. She's in a assisted living facility
okay.
with some sitters. Yep,
Oh,
who are
good.
fantastic.
Yeah, terrific. Okay, I'm gonna hook into you. What's your mom's first
Yes,
name?
Marilyn.
Marilyn. Okay. I'm gonna hook into you and I'm gonna hook into Mama Marilyn here in a second.
All
So
right,
here
she's a
here
pistol.
here comes my lazy beam from Sweet Home Alabama, heading south. I know the road. I've driven it many times. All right, coming in, picking up the 10 down there, heading into New Orleans, coming across the bridge and all of that. All right, got you going to your mom. Your mom is in phase 4 of the 12 phases of transition. Do you know what that is?
I do. I've read
Okay,
your book. I
okay,
am familiar. Yes.
okay, great. So, for those of you that don't know, as we're dying, what happens is our spirit exits through the top of the head, hangs on. Looks like a speech bubble in a cartoon, and we're surrounded by angels and the spirits of deceased loved ones and pets. There's a horse's spirit there, Eileen. Did your mom have a horse, or do you have a horse, or what's up with the horse?
No,
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
You need to ask around because there's a horse there. So maybe she had a friend who had a horse, or she something to do with a horse. You'll find out.
Okay.
I was doing this recently with a client and her I think it was her mom. We saw her mom's spirit and she was dying and her there was a monkey spirit in the room. And I said to her, "There's a monkey spirit." And I thought that was wild because I'll see farm animals, but not monkeys very often. Never. I think that was the only time. And she said, "My mom and her siblings growing up used to go next door to this woman, her house next door, and she had a pet monkey, and they've talked about the pet monkey their whole lives. And so the monkey is long gone, of course, but the monkey's spirit was in their room. Is that the sweetest thing? So there's a
That
story behind
is.
that horse with your mom. We'll ask. We
Okay.
can ask her. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So Marilyn, are you ready? I always ask 3 questions. Marilyn, are you ready to go? Not quite yet. Are you in pain? She says sometimes, but it's minor. She says her legs cramp at times.
She's got some knee issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
She
what
says
she.
that okay. So she's showing me when she's laying or even if she's propped up and her legs are straight. She's saying that if somebody could put a pillow underneath her knees, that would be helpful
Okay.
just because
Okay.
it'll keep her legs from cramping. So she's saying that, well, so that she's telling us what she needs. She's saying she's going to stay around. Is she a chocolate girl? She wants you to bring her some
She likes
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she'd like some chocolate, is what she's saying.
Okay.
It's been my experience, Eileen, that when people have Alzheimer's or dementia, oftentimes they'll say that it's a slow goodbye. And what I hear so often from the person who's in the phases of transition is they want you to get used to the idea of her not being around.
Yeah.
So
I feel
she
like
wants
I'm
you guys.
already I feel like I'm already mourning it, and I'm taking this time to try to heal our relationship, as well
Yeah.
as just to, bring her a lot of love and light for, what time she
Yeah.
has left.
So remember, our heads are big satellite dishes. They receive and transmit frequencies, and you can
Yeah.
talk to her at any time because we can talk to any spirit, whether it's attached to a body or not. So just think of your mom, whether you're with her or not is irrelevant. And then that's going to connect into her frequency. It's kind of like a radio station because every spirit has a frequency they keep throughout all their lifetimes. And then just talk to her. Just say, hey, mom, yeah, yeah, la, 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 whatever. And she's going to respond. And if you hear something that sounds snarky in your head, that's your head. Re-ask the question,
Mhm.
be more specific, because all spirits are pure love. They're never going to say anything derogatory, demeaning, or, nasty, ever, even when they're still attached to a body. So you can have a conversation with her that way. The other thing that you can do too, if you want to work on healing your relationship is write out everything you want to say to her, pen and paper. It's very cathartic. Write it out and then take it to a local park with grills, like that you can cook a steak or hamburger on and burn
Mhm.
it in the grill and watch that smoke go skyward. And what that does is that releases the energy from you and she'll get that as well. So it purifies it kind of. I don't want you doing it near your house especially if there's, seriously, if there's negative,
Yeah.
negative emotions and stuff. That's why I want you to take it. And I don't want you burning it on the lawn. You don't need to be
Okay.
starting a forest fire, but just go find a grill in a park and set it ablaze. A couple last things, Eileen. Download the 12 phases of transition chart off of my website,
Hmm.
askjulieryan.com on the 12 phases page. Download it and save it on your phone, the picture of each of the
Hmm.
phases. It's all in a big chart. It's for free. And then Chris just put the banner up. Thanks, Chris. And then just ask, what phase is my mom in? You'll hear 7, 5, whatever. And then you can refer to the chart, and that will help you navigate this. So she can go back and forth between the phases.
Yeah.
She could be 8, come back to 2, go up to 9, move around. But 4, she's a little more than a quarter of the way through out of the 12 phases. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. It does. I mean, the timing part is hard to know. I mean, for
Yeah.
her, she said she's ready. As you said, I think there's always a little piece that pulls back, but yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
just a journey.
exactly. Is she afraid to go, do you think? Is she afraid to die?
I asked her. She said no.
Good.
Yeah, I've asked her.
Great.
So,
Because
and I know
some people
she's got her
are.
mother and father and people
Yeah.
around her. Yeah.
Yeah. Has she talked about them? Can she see them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 90% of people can at the end of their lives. That's
Mhm.
what the research shows. So that's comforting, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Anybody that wants a free copy of Angelic Attendance, What Really Happens as we transition from this life into the next, just go to julieryangift.com and we'll send you a free digital and audiobook version. Share it with your family and friends. Everybody needs to have this information. I give away thousands of these because I believe the information is so important for us to know. So just want to go to julieryangift.com and just to request it, and we'll send you a free copy. So thanks, Eileen. Good luck with all of
Thank
that.
you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
AskJulieRyanShow.com if you want to have a conversation with me. And we're also at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. Remember, I do lots of private appointments, and now I have all these graduates of my angelic attendant training class that are doing appointments too. So when you go on AskJulieRyan.com to schedule your private appointment, you'll see the page where you can schedule with one of my graduates. They're all fabulous. I'm getting wonderful emails from people who have worked with them, and they're saying, "Oh my gosh, you're not kidding. So and so was terrific." I'm like, "Yeah, do you think I'm gonna have somebody that isn't on there?" So you can get in to see them usually way faster and way less expensively. So I'm trying to cover as many bases as I can. We go from free to not free, but you got lots of steps along the way to try and help you get your questions answered. Okay, Chris, who else you got? Barbara. Hi, Julie. Barbara from Denver. Thanks for my session with you. It was great. Thanks, Barbara. I loved it too. Sending you a big hug. Oh, that was fun. Fun surprise. Gwendolyn. Hi, Gwen. This is Jamie. I'm thinking I'm going Gwendolyn. I looked at your last name. Yeah, her secret agent name is Gwendolyn. She really goes by Jamie. Jamie from AAT. You did some healing on my left eye. It's better. And the doctor says I need to have the excess skin relax so I stop the bleeding. Can you check me out? Hugs. Okay, Jamie. Jamie emailed me or left me a voicemail or something a few days ago, and she's got bleeding in her eyes. And so I did a healing on her, and what I saw was the blood, the vascular system coming into the back of her eye was reminded me of crepe paper. Those little rolls of crepe paper? Have you ever decorated a float maybe for a neighborhood 4th of July parade or those little rolls of crepe paper you could decorate a room for a party with those? That's what it looked like, and it was very thin. It looked like it was in jeopardy of disintegrating. So we did a healing on that, used some stem cell energy, all of that. And then Jamie sent me a note and she said, I went to the doctor a couple of days ago and he said, that area behind your eye looks like it's cauterized. And so she emailed me and she goes, thanks, Julie. Yeah, I saw that happen in the healing. So that was funny that it was showing up at the doctor's office a couple of days later. Not funny. I mean, that's how it works. A lot of the time it'll show up. So what I'm doing is I'm checking and seeing it's holding. You're doing good. Okay, the excess skin. What I'm watching is I'm watching that corkscrew that we used with Ken with the sleep apnea. And so it's spinning and it's just removing the excess skin. You're going to completely heal from this, Jamie. You're going to be just fine. This is all good. And, your doctor's going to be flabbergasted because they don't expect that. But we have the ability to do that. So I hope that helps. Thanks for joining us. Sending you a big hug. I love it when my AAT grads come in and my Angels and Enlightenment training grads too. I'm like a proud mama bear. These guys are doing amazing things. If you're interested in doing one of my trainings, the Angelic Attendant training is where you learn the whole buffet of psychicness. And we're going to do the next one online in live online. And that will be May 18th and 19th, the weekend of May 18th and 19th. So that'll be online via Zoom. And then we're going to do the live in-person one in Atlanta again. And that's going to be October 24th through the 26th. And we've rented out a hotel again. It's right next to the Atlanta airport. It will be a blast. So join us for either one of those. And then if you want to do the online self-paced training, Angels and Enlightenment training, you can do that anytime. And also, both of those trainings come with practice groups multiple times a week. That is the key. You got to do the practice groups. It is the most important part of any training because you can read a book, you can attend a workshop, you can watch a video, but until you do it, you don't really get it. It's like when you learn to drive a car. You could do all that, read a book, watch a video, ride in the car with somebody else, but until you're behind the wheel, you don't really get it. And that's how this works too. So come join us for one of our trainings. Okay, who's next? Hi,
Hi,
Betsy.
can you hear
How are
me?
you? Yes, ma'am. Where are
Well, how are
you?
you?
I'm terrific,
I am
thanks.
Lawrence County, Tennessee.
Oh, terrific. Where's that? Where's Lawrence County?
2 hours above you.
Okay, so you're on the bottom part of the state, like
South,
Southern Tennessee?
Southern Tennessee.
Okay, terrific. You got a question for me?
Yes, my mother is 75. Her name is Betty. She's
Yeah.
got stage 4 breast cancer and she has had a stroke.
Oh,
And I was
no.
wondering what phase of transition she might be in.
Okay. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook into you and then from you. Betty and Betsy, I love that.
Well,
So
actually, my grandmother's name is Betty. My mother's name is Betty, and mine is Betty, so I go by Betsy.
oh, they could call you Betty 1, 2, and 3. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, here we go. Here comes my laser beam, not very far. Heading up Interstate 65, heading north to you, girl. All right, got you. All right, going to your mom. She's in phase 7 of the 12 phases of transition. So the angels that surround your mom are there. They've started to open up into a horseshoe configuration. Eventually, they'll be in a straight line across, you know, the bottom of her bed. Have you read Angelic Attendants yet? Yeah, you
I
have.
have.
Okay. All right. So what I was mentioning earlier is download that chart, of the 12 phases from AskJulieRyan.com, the 12 phases page. Save it on your phone, Betsy, just in the photographs, and then just ask, what phase is my mom in? So let's ask her 3 questions. Okay, so Miss Betty, are you ready to go? Oh, yes, I am, is what she said. Oh, yes, I am. Is she there with you at your home?
Oh, she's in the nursing facility.
Okay. All right. Are you in pain? She's saying not really. She's saying sometimes she gets low back pain, but she said they turn her in the bed and that helps with the pain. So that's good. She would like to be propped up a little more. So, those beds, I don't know, do they have a hospital bed in there or is it just a regular bed? It's a hospital bed. So you know how you can prop up the back a little bit? She'd like to be propped up a little bit with that. She's asking for 7 Up. Does she like 7 Up? The
Not
soda
that
pop?
I
She's
know.
asking
Yeah.
for. She'd like some 7 Up. She's showing me a glass with a, straw, one of those bendy straws. She'd like that too. Is there anything else that Betsy can do for you? She's saying, "Bring me my shawl." Does she have a shawl or a blanket or something that's a wrap that she uses? She says sometimes she gets chilly.
Yeah,
So,
she had a heated stroke, but they won't let her have it.
oh, that's what she's talking about. They won't let her have it because
It's electric.
okay, that's what she's talking
Right.
about. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you take her a non-electric one that she can maybe just they can throw around her shoulders or something? Yeah. She's saying she gets a little chilly in there. And she's showing me that it's kinda hard for her to maneuver in the bed. Is that what you're finding
Yes.
too? Yeah.
They got it lowered because she had fallen with her when she had her stroke, and they didn't want her to fall off the bed, but they don't have the rails, and so they've got her down low.
Okay. So that would make sense that she wants to sit up. Go to the store and get some of those baby rails, that they put on a big boy bed when the baby goes out, big boy or big girl bed when the baby goes out of the crib. And I would ask them first, see if they'll let you bring them in. But can't they switch her to a bed that has rails on it? I mean, or can't you get that brought in from hospice or?
I'm not sure what their thinking is behind it.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna be more comfortable if you can sit her up a little bit, and then that makes sense because she's saying it's hard for her to maneuver in the bed. So if there's, like, a little extra blanket or throw or something that you can put on her, that would be great, and something really soft because, those industrial linens are not the softest on the planet that they have. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Just ask, what phase is my mom in?
Well,
As
I
I
was going
was
to tell you, I had to read about that, and it was said phase 5. And when I opened up your book on my Kindle, it said it was on phase 5.
perfect. Yeah, perfect. And remember, they can go back and forth. So it's not like they're, at 5 and then they automatically go to 6. They may go 5, 8, 3. They can move around. So, but when you see them going, when you see her, excuse me, Betsy, going like 6, 7, 8 in a row, then that's when you really want to pay attention to it. Okay. All right. Good luck. Thanks for calling. Bye. Excuse me. AskJulieRyanShow.com. If you want to have a conversation with me, we're at Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. Let's take another caller and then I'll announce our free session winner. See who that is. Okay. Let's see who this. Hi, Julie. My name is Naneth in Las Vegas. I'm currently in my awakening and I find myself in a place I feel energy blocks. Please help. Okay. What I would suggest is schedule an appointment with me or one of my graduates, because when there's an energy block, it's always precipitated by some emotional event that causes a little energy block, like in Eastern medicine, acupressure, acupuncture, clear the block, get the chi to move, that whole concept, Nana. And it reminds me of a little kernel of unpopped popcorn is what it looks like. And then other emotional events in life pile, pile, pile on top of it, eventually causing enough pressure causes a blowout in this energy field membrane, which is the container that holds the energy that makes up our body and our spirit. So what we'll do is we'll dive into that hole and we'll have a conversation about what shows up. As soon as we illuminate it, it eradicates it. It allows the energy field membrane to heal, helps you regain and maintain health. Even if you're healthy now, it'll help you maintain health. So schedule an appointment either with me or with one of my graduates, and we'll help you with that. And then the thing that's so cool about it is once you find where that energy block originated, then all of it is removed in one fell swoop. And it doesn't need to be something dramatic or traumatic. It can be somebody called you a bad name when you were little and it hurt your feelings. Well, we look at that as adults and we think no big deal. And yet it's a big deal to your 3-year-old self when that happens. So that's where the energy block begins. It's not where the energy field membrane ruptures, but it's where the block begins. And so we'll go in and we'll get it out all in one fell swoop. So looking forward to talking with you or having you talk with one of my grads who are all fabulous. So let's see who's next. Let's take one more, Chris, and then okay, another tease. I'll take one more and then we'll announce it. Okay. Hi, Charlene. Charlene looks like she just won the lottery.
Oh,
Hi, honey. How
yes.
are you?
Yeah, great. Discovered you on Alex Ferrari's Next Level Soul,
Oh, my
and
buddy.
I just
Yeah, I love
think you're
him.
awesome.
Well, thank you. I think you're awesome right back. Where are you?
Thank you. Near Austin, Texas.
Okay. Terrific. That's where Alex is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This, this is for my husband.
Okay.
A long time ago, when he was in the Army, battle conditions, and he suffered a major concussion. And so he's a mess head to toe. But one of the things that would bring him sweet relief is the nonstop headache and tinnitus that he's had for over 40 years. So how he hasn't gone insane is
Wow.
unbelievable. So I'm sure his brain looks like that thick cooked oatmeal you talk about from time to
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go from you, Charlene, to your husband. Tell me his first name, please.
Patrick,
Patrick. Does he go by Patrick or Pat?
either one.
What do you call him?
Patrick.
You call him Patrick. Okay. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading over to you in Austin. Got you going to Patrick. Patrick, I'm talking to your lovely bride. Isn't she lovely? Yes, she is. Okay. She wants me to check out your head, see if we can help with the headache and the tinnitus. Will that be okay with you? He said, yeah, bring it on. Anything that can help. He said, yeah, bring it on, like that. Okay. So I'm shooting energy from his feet up through the top of his head. I have a hologram of him in my mind's eye, Charlene. And so it's going to his head. It's going to the back of his head. Where was he stationed in the army? Where was he? And what was he doing?
He was with the Green Berets or Special
Oh, wow.
Forces, as they call it.
Oh,
So,
oh,
Fort
serious.
Jackson, Fort Bliss, Fort Sill,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Was he ever deployed?
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Overseas?
yes.
He's been around explosions, is why I'm asking those questions, because he's got a bunch of scar tissue in his brain. So
Yeah,
it
he was in a tank that got hit, and so the pressure concussion just, I'm
yeah,
sure it blew out his eardrums and just
yeah.
all kind of things.
Okay, what I'm seeing in his brain, the brain, you've been listening to me, thank you. The brain looks like thick cooked oatmeal to me. Scar tissue in the brain looks like chicken cartilage, the kind that you'd see in the chicken breast with the bone in. And so what we're doing is he's got a bunch of it. So I'm scooping out, spirit working through me and with me to help facilitate healing. I'm watching it get scooped out. So if we divided his brain into quadrants, he's got some in all the quadrants. That's how much scar tissue he's got. I mean, it's amazing that he's functional, frankly, with all this scar tissue that he has. Has he been able to work since he got out of the military?
Yes, but it's difficult.
Okay, I bet.
You know,
I bet. Okay. How young is he, Charlene?
He's a young 65.
Okay, great. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm watching this scar tissue get scooped out, leaves a divot, like if you took a big spoonful of oatmeal, leaves a divot in the oatmeal. All the stem cell energy is filling it now. And what's stem cell energy light amber color gel has sparkles in it because it's woo woo. Gotta have sparkles. Reminds me of Dippity Doo hair gel when I was a kid in the 60s and
Me too.
70s. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. And then there's a vortex that's spinning above each of those areas where it's been scooped out. And so he's got a bunch of it in the back of his head, like almost the whole back of his head is scar tissue. When I see scar tissue in somebody's head, Charlene, it can occlude neural pathways. Not all the way. I mean, sometimes it does, but when it occludes neural pathways, it can mess up how the brain's working. It impedes those electrical impulses going through the brain. This is my layperson, you know,
Yeah, well,
explanation
he's
here.
got shaky hands too.
I
So,
bet.
yeah,
I bet.
or
So,
mhm.
what I'm watching is as that brain tissue's getting replaced and getting regenerated, those neural pathways are starting to light up. And they remind me of a laser beam as part of a security system in a museum, perhaps. If you saw Ocean's 11, the movie, did you see that? Yeah, where
Yes,
they're trying to steal diamonds or a painting or something, and they got this little guy and he's jumping over and rolling under the laser beams. That's what it looks like inside of the brain. So those are all lit up for him now, probably for the first time in a while for him. That's going to help a lot. He'll probably turn into a rocket scientist and, help him down there where you are in Austin. So let's look at his ears. Okay. Yeah. His ears, it went to his left ear first. Does he have hearing issues? Does he use hearing aids?
he doesn't, but kind of recently he's like, okay, well, I really can't hear anything out of, and I don't know which ear he said. Maybe it was the
Okay.
left.
the energy, I always follow where the energy goes first, even if it's asymptomatic. So it went to his left ear, and his eardrum looks like it has a bunch of scar tissue on it. So I agree with you. It was probably blown out. That must have hurt like a son of a gun when that happened. So what I'm watching happen, Charlene, is I'm watching that eardrum get cut, the incisions going all around the perimeter of the eardrum. And we're going to use stem cell energy to make a new eardrum. Because this stem cell energy is the coolest stuff. It'll regenerate any body part we need. It is so amazing. And so imagine there's like a temporary metal plate that's put there, and the stem cell energy is going in, and then there's a vortex spinning in front of it. That's regenerating the eardrum. All right. That plate is there. That plate was just removed. It was just to kind of make a backing so the eardrum could be formed. Most of the time, I'll see a mold like a plastics mold or a jello mold or a butt cake mold. Those are all molds. Like if we're remaking a kidney or a liver or something. But eardrums, I always just see kind of like a plate that's put back there, and then the stem cell energy is put on there. So that's happening. Plate's been removed. Now I'm watching the eardrum get tightened, different areas being pulled. And then I'm watching musical notes and energy frequency waves bouncing off his eardrum. It's getting adjusted. Reminds me of a pair of bongo drums, the membrane that's on the top, how tightly it's pulled will determine the tonality of that drum. Same thing with the ears. All right, cleaning out his eustachian tubes in there, rotor-rooter in it, just corkscrew in there, cleaning that out. I just watched a puff of air go from his eardrum into the middle of his head through his eustachian tube. It was like a puff of air. It just like got any kind of junk that was in there out. All right, let's look at his right ear. His right ear isn't as badly damaged to me. It doesn't look like it is as his left ear. It does have a couple of areas that I'm watching get cut out. Stem cell energy is going in to regenerate those areas, vortex outside of it. And now the eardrum's getting pulled, like I talked about. I always see it get tested with the musical notes and the energy waves, like sound waves. So like you'd see on Chris's dashboard where he's got lots of sound waves going and got that going. Okay. Eustachian tubes being cleaned out. That puff of air just went through. So I hope that helps. You may want to try turning off the Wi-Fi in your home when you go to bed at night, because sometimes that can really exacerbate the tinnitus. So try turning that off, and try turning off his phone when he sleeps, because sometimes that can have a really positive effect. So I hope that helps. I'd love to have an appointment with him and do a deep dive. We can go through all of his injuries and body parts and stuff.
He needs one
Yeah.
desperately head to toe. We
Okay.
just scratched the surface.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks, Charlene. You're a sweetie to call in for him.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. Enjoy your evening. Okay. Here we go, Chris. Drum roll, please. This is his favorite part, you guys, of doing this show. He gets to do it twice a month. He loves it. All right. Carol Skinner, you are our February winner. Carol Skinner. She says, Julie Ryan has been my guiding light. I listen to her shows and interviews on Spotify on my daily commute to and from work. I have now incorporated many of her suggestions into my daily routine, and I'm feeling better and better. My vibration level has definitely been rising above the quote, I feel crappy channel, end quote. Love the good vibes from all. So Carol Skinner, girlfriend, you have won a free 1-hour session with me, and that's valued at $750. You guys, I give away 2 of these every month, one on my show, one on my live, which is the 4th Tuesday of the month. And so we can talk, Carol, we can talk about anything you want from the buffet of psychicness. We can scan your cat. We can talk to your dead grandma. We can do a healing on you or on a loved one. We can do past life stuff. We can talk to your spirit guides and angels. It's a blast. It is so much fun when I get you for an hour, and we will cram as many things as we can into one session. So, Carol, just go to AskJulieRyan.com, go to the Ask Julie tab on the top of the homepage, say, hey, it's Carol. I want a free session, and my assistant Rachel will coordinate our calendars. And I look forward to having you all to myself for a whole hour. If you want to sign up for this drawing that we do, I give away a free class and a free session every month. All you have to do is subscribe on YouTube, leave a review on YouTube or anywhere you listen to the show. She left this on Spotify, and sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is a blog. Somebody submits a question online and I answer it. Another free way to get your question answered. So each week we get lots of people submitting questions. One is chosen. I answer it, comes out as a weekly email on Thursday mornings. It's got all the, hey, remember we're doing the show. Here are the call-in information and the, if you want to join us, and here's the YouTube stuff too. So sign up for that, and you may be the next winner. Okay. Congratulations. All right, Chris, who's next? Melinda. Hi, I'm Mel from Queensland, Australia. I just talked to a gal earlier, interviewed her for the show from Queensland. All right, our dog Chiefly passed away last week, and we don't know what happened. Can you shed any light on what happened to him, and is he okay? We miss him so much. Okay, Chifley, it looks like Chifley. All right, so what I'm going to do, Mel, is I'm going to connect into you down in Queensland, and then we'll talk to Chifley. All right, got you. Got Chifley. Chifley, what happened? He said, I'm hearing heart attack. I heard heart attack. So, very sudden, no pain. Yes, he's around you. You're going to think you see him out of the corner of your eye. You are. And you can talk to him. He can hear you. He's saying, he's talking about his bed, that he loved his bed. He said you made him a bed and he loved it because it made him feel very nurtured, his word, and taken care of. So I don't know if it was a dog bed, if you just put a blanket on the floor, if you had a blanket on the couch or whatever, but he loved it and it made him feel special. So I hope that helps, Mel. You can talk to him anytime you want. Same thing with pets as with spirits that were human in heaven. You just think of them, say something, they're going to answer you, and it'll be the first thing that comes in your head as fast as you can snap your fingers. So I hope that helps. Thanks for your question. Okay, who's next? AskJulieRyanShow.com. Ask Julie Ryan on the YouTube live stream. I say that throughout the show because sometimes people join us in the middle of the show. So that's why I say it so much. So we'll catch everybody regardless of when they're tuning in. All right, Chris, who's next? Lori. Hi, Lori girl.
Hey,
How are ya?
I'm doing good. How are you, Julie?
I'm terrific. Thanks. Where are you?
I am in Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right. What's happening up there? Do you guys
Minnesota.
do you have snow?
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep. Saturday, about 4 to 6 inches should be blowing in.
Oh my. Okay. Hurry, get on a plane and come to my house fast.
I would
And then
love
you can
to.
get out of there. I just saying I was walking in shorts and a t-shirt last weekend, but that was
Oh,
that was beautiful. It was a little unseasonably warm, but it was like low 70s, but it was perfect. So, anyways, my dear friend Mary, who lives in Minneapolis, if there's a big storm coming in, I'll send her a text. I'll say, hurry, get on a plane, get out of there, come to my house before that snow hits. And you know what she says to me, Lori? She says, "Jules, some people like the snow." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Open invitation." Anyways, I
Uh-huh.
digress. How may I help you?
Julie, I have been dealing with pain in my private areas in my vagina area and kind of my anus, kind of the perineum area, I would
Okay.
say. I've done several different things of as far as seeing if it's diet, a food sensitivity down there, or um, yeah, I've done exercises to try to strengthen the muscles in that area.
Mhm.
I've gone to physicians and they've said that as a female, that area, the skin is just getting thinner and I'm more sensitive, but there's something in me that says it's more than hormones. I'm just not quite sure. But yeah, so I'd love you to
Okay.
take a peek and give me some
Yeah.
insight,
Let
some
me
healing.
let me get let me get you on my radar. You're not on hormones now?
No,
Okay. All right. Did they do a scan so that they know if your bladder's dropping or your uterus is dropping or any of that? That's what
no,
I
don't.
get I get divine downloads, Lori, in my head before I even get you on my radar to see in my mind's eye what's going on. That's what I'm hearing from spirit is I'm gonna check all your girly parts in your bladder once I get you on my radar. But those all seem to be okay. Is it pain that's internal? Like it feels like an ache, or is it external in the skin, or what? Or both?
It's like on the outside of the opening, it's like a burning. Always kind of
Okay.
like a burning and a pressure. So when I sit, even when I lay down on that area and there's any pressure in that area, it just
Mhm.
feels like a burning, like an aching, like you would like at a hemorrhoid, a throbbing and a burning.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you in Minnesota. All right, got you shooting energy. Yeah, it's inflamed. All right. Okay, so the tissue looks inflamed to me. So I'm using anti inflammatory energy. Inflamed tissue just looks like tissue with red fog on it. Red energy is what inflammation looks like to me. And then the blue fog, it's kind of a royal blue color, is what anti inflammatory energy looks like. So I'm applying that. I'm going in to see you got yeast overgrowth. First of all, get them to get you an antifungal. Monostat you can buy over the counter. Have you tried that?
No, I've
Yeah,
had tests for yeast infection and bacteria infection. It's come back negative. So
I
it's
would do it anyways. I would do it anyways.
okay.
I would do the monostat that you can buy over the counter. And I would do I'm getting 2 rounds of that. Do 2 rounds
Okay.
of that over the counter. So, what I'm doing is I'm going in to see it looks like your things are starting to be affected by gravity. So, I'm watching your uterus and your bladder get propped up and stitched up. And it's so fun when I get to watch this. Cracks me up every time because it's like the bladder and the uterus get put up, and it reminds me of hanging sheets on the clothesline with old-fashioned clothespins. We used to do that when I was a kid, and my grandmother and my mother would say, "Oh, but they smell
Yeah.
so fresh." So it gets propped up like in 3 places, and then the rest of it gets propped up and it all gets stitched back into place. But I always think, okay, we've got Lori's uterus hanging out on a clothesline here to prop it up. So got that going. Okay, that's coming up. I'm watching stem cell energy get put on the inside of your uterus just to make it more, the word buoyant is coming in. Because when it was propped up, it was kind of like it was elongating, like it was
Mhm.
stretchy. So we're
Okay.
getting it, we're getting it back up where it needs to be
Good.
and in the shape that it needs to be. How about that? What I'm thinking of is, those cartoons where they've got some old woman and she's got saggy boobs and they're down like to her knees. That's kinda your uterus looked like it was sagging, and
I'm like,
so yeah. So I just use some stem cell energy to make it more, bouncy, more youthful. How about that? Alright,
yeah.
now, bladder, same thing, tacking that up, same thing. It looks like a clothesline. You know, spirit is so funny, Lori, and we're supposed to have fun when we're doing this stuff because we get so serious because we get scared and it's painful and all that. And when we have fun when we're doing it, you know, spirit's pure love and pure joy. So we're supposed to have fun. That's why they send me these crazy analogies just to make us laugh as much as anything. So got the bladder tacked up. Okay, you've got yeast. You got yeast overgrowth going on. So I would use that. I would use the monostat. Hopefully that will help. If it doesn't, I would get a second opinion on if you need to have your bladder and your uterus tacked up to see if that helps. Because it looks to me like there's a lot of pressure on it from the inside because they're starting to drop. And I've been in surgeries like that. And I've even seen women where their uteruses are coming out, you know, through their vaginal area. And so, yeah, they normally will give them a hysterectomy at that point. You're not to that stage, but they may need to tack a few things up in there for you. So I hope that helps.
Awesome. Yes, very
Okay.
good.
All right. Good luck
Thank you
with the
so much.
snow. You bet. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank
You
you.
bet. Bye. All righty, everybody. That's it for the week. I'm sending you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah. Have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. It will be fun on Sunday in New Orleans. And I'll see you next week. Bye. To enhance your spiritual journey, click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your family and friends.